And all of us, in the biggest way we can think of is literally dying, losing our body, and be born again. Although it is written that in the last days there will be a generation living on the earth when the renewal of all things, this return of Jesus and the end of the age, the beginning of the new age, it all happens concurrently, and there'll be a generation living that never tastes the first death. In other words, you get this metamorphosis takes place, where the mortal body meets the immortal. Okay, the perishable meets the imperishable, and it all happens in what's called the twinkling of an eye. This is where the whole idea of what do they call the rapture? This is that whole idea, because that's not a biblical word. The word rapture is not in the Bible, but that's where that belief comes from, that this is going to happen to a generation living that will never know the first death. So you're going to be born again in that sense with a new body, without ever going through the first death. But the more ready you are, the easier the transition will be. So everybody should get ready for that world. What's it going to look like? Use your God-given imagination, and I'll use mine. And together we'll come to a conclusion, a consensus of, wow, that's going to be a pretty cool place, man, when we're just playing, frolicking on God's green earth, utterly, completely, absolutely free, which is the way it has to be someday. And will be, because a good is stronger than bad, right is stronger than wrong, as truth is stronger than lies, on and on in that theme. And that's why we know what's going to unfold here eventually. Not in my time, not in anybody else's time, but in God's time. FYI, I roll some of my own cigarettes, and that's all I'm smoking here, just so people don't think otherwise. The cost of smoke has gone way up. Luckily, the price for a pack of tobacco at least didn't go up. But here in California, they just raised the price $2 a pack, so that's hurting a lot of people. So if you see more people rolling their own in California, you'll know why. What consolidation, centralization, wealth disparity, the overt, covert theft of the wealth of the nation, and the New World Order cabal have in common? All about controlling who's to be financially well-heeled and who isn't, by aggregating ever-growing wealth into the pockets of ever fewer people. They achieve their goal of perpetual and ever-growing poverty, coupled with an ever-growing wealth and income disparity. Yeah, that's their agenda. That's their plan, is just to impoverish people. Dereliction of duty within the mass media. They're supposed to be accurately informing and educating the public about pertinent, relevant, important, contemporaneous events. Yet we get fed BS and kept in the dark. The establishment is clearly in control of the content to manipulate public opinion regarding our evolvement and training the masses at large to continue on the path our establishment overlords want to take us down. That's right, keep us corralled, keep us going in the direction they want us to go. You too can be a friend to God and thereby a friend to humanity. I've gone into that in quite a bit of detail in this series, right? It's not hard to be God's friend. He's very easy to please, really. Satan, that's the pig, liar, cheater, thief, murderer. All through history, money, quote, in all its sundry forms has been little more beneficial than a malignant tumor, a cancerous blight on the collective soul of humanity. That's what I believe about money. If America is a Christian nation, pray tell, why aren't we giving a crap about the least of men, about Jesus' wishes? Yep, we better get real, we better get honest, better ask those questions. Though you may wish no one felt unduly sorry for you, you may not be able to do anything about it. That's right. You think of all the people that have chosen to be misfits because they were repulsed by this establishment, this system. Uh, maybe you shouldn't feel sorry for them. It doesn't hurt to be charitable. We should all be charitable about how we feel about one another, what we do to one another, and think toward one another. But, feeling sorry is other people's prerogative. But a lot of people are misfits because they can't stand the system, man. It doesn't mean they have to be homeless. We don't have to let them die out in the cold. But they don't want people's pity. Okay, in fact, their pride is assaulted by this. I feel an acute prevailing sense of collective consternation. I've gone into that in quite a bit of detail. No one is actually happy in the truest sense, the absolute sense. That would defy the laws of reality because of this world we live in. It's so unjust. It's so unreal. Karmic law, it would defy the laws of reality, karmic laws, and scientific laws of physics. That's right. You can't help but have a collective, we can't help it, but have a collective sense of consternation at the situation. Facing the unavoidable implications of our essentially osmotic, even inextricable interconnectivity as a species. What affects you affects me. It's really that simple. The infamous Decepticon media continues to be remiss, derelict, delinquent, and despicable at properly educating the public. Oh, yeah. And I could go on and on about that. The green lighting to commit unbridled monetary fraud came from the highest seats of power. That's right. So your local credit union, they're less culpable. All the policies come from the top, cause all of our problems. We are forced to contend within an artificial, manufactured, social, societal-wide atmosphere rife with an acute air of consternation. That's right, folks. Look up the term consternation. You'll see what I mean. Uneasiness, a foreboding, stress of indignation, perhaps, just frustration. But that's a scene we have, and it's a scene we ought not have. And my heart goes out to everybody. I love everybody. I care about everybody. I want the best for everybody. And I don't like everything about everybody. There's a lot of habits I don't like about myself. Okay? So, no, I don't like everything about everybody, but we've got to give a crap. We've got to put all that, the petty crap aside and just jump into the pool of humanity, jump into the fray, metaphorically speaking, without violence, but with caring and concern, compassion, and trying to convince people as honestly, effectively as we can. Just tap into what God gave you, the wherewithal God gave you. To be honest, first of all, invite the Spirit of truth in, to adjust your heart and mind so you come up with the right words, to be effective. Define terms. When you're having a conversation with somebody, let's define that term you speak so we can have a meeting of the mind so we're on the same page and we can grow from this conversation. If we fall short of that, we're going to fail at the endeavor. So let's really get serious and really get honest and really start giving a damn. Okay, and that's the best we can do. If we do the best we can do, we're going to stand blameless before the seat of God, before the Almighty. And we're going to be able to give an accurate account and a proper account of who we are, who we decided to be, the choices and decisions of the person we wanted to be, our belief systems and our philosophies. They'll hold water. If you're a friend to Him, He'll find a way for you to succeed. And that, to me, is success, because that's about your eternal salvation, where you go from here, what you're found worthy of deserving and inheriting, this better world, this renewed earth, at the new age. Because we got an age that's dying. It's ending right in front of our eyes, and it's not fun to watch. I don't like to see other people suffering. If it's just perceived suffering, even if it's unjustified suffering, even if they believe they're going to lose, if they've got to lower their price for this or that. But you're going to see beautiful things come of it as your currency increases in worth. It creates a chain reaction in the opposite direction. So it's the opposite of crony capitalism. And it is a little painful. At least it appears to be. But in the long run, it's the best thing we can do. It's the only thing we can do, okay, to try to turn this ship around. Okay, is just give a damn about others, not just yourself, okay?